Alright, so you're going to get the stringer cord. It'll just have zip cord ends like that. You need a female plug and a male plug. These can be attached without tools. I'm going to show you how to do that. And they'll have slider caps to go on there. So the first thing you want to do is find your end and split the zip cord about 3/16 of an inch. Now, the best way to do this is just with a little razor knife. Just very carefully cut it down about 3/16 of an inch, which is just over 1/8 of an inch. Separate a little bit. Okay, there's a reason for this. Do this to both ends. And this one I already did earlier. Okay. You have to know the polarity of the plug. Your electricity, even though it's alternating current, has a hot and a neutral. So you want to make sure those wires don't get swapped around. Now this is something that many people mess up, and in fact I've received things from professionals who put the cords in wrong. I think because they just were never trained how to properly do it. Everyone assumes it's alternating current, which means it goes back and forth, so it doesn't matter, but it does. Okay, it's a safety feature. Okay, first of all, you'll know from your plugs at home when you plug something in, you've got a wide slot and a narrow slot. On your plugs at home, you also have a wide blade and a narrow blade. Okay, so you can see that right there. Naturally, they have to fit. They're not going to fit this way. So you want to make sure that your wire that you connect on here is proper, so it matches other plugs you may plug into it, but also it has to match the electricity that's coming out of the wall outlet in your house. So here's what you need to know. The wide blade is your neutral wire. Your neutral wire in your house is the white wire. Your narrow blade is the hot wire. The hot wire in your house is the black wire. Okay? That's a universal thing, and if your house is wired to code, that's the way it is. Okay, so we're gonna make these so they're right for a properly wired house. The way these plugs work is there are a couple of stabs on there. Let me get this where you can see it. Focus, please. Okay, do you see those little pointy things? I don't have anything to point with. There's a little pointy edge just on the right hand side of the video as you're looking at it, and then the other pointy one is on the left hand side on the other. Okay, those are stabs. Those points stab through the jacket on the wire, so that way you don't have to strip the cord. Okay, now you notice also this plug has like a gateway right here. If we turn the plug over, there's no gateway. This gateway is so that your zip cord can lay down in it, right like that. Okay, so we need to make sure that the stab for the wide slot, that's the neutral, stabs the neutral wire here. Okay, now this is going to be hard to see on the video, but this will be true for any zip cord you get. Now, zip cord is lamp cord, but basically it's this flat cord with two conductors in it. It's fairly flat, and they call it zip cord because you can start the ends and you can just pull them apart. Okay, you can zip them apart. Now, very closely, you feel this wire. You'll feel one conductor, the jacket I mean, is smooth. The other side has a little rib on it. Listen. Okay, some of them are a little more pronounced than others. This one is very, very minute. You have to pay attention to know it's there. Now, also you'll find on the wire is some printing. There'll be some ink printing, and on a green cord it's going to be a white colored ink, and on a white cord it'll be probably a black ink. But it will give you things as far as the electrical rating of the wire, the gauge of the wire and things like that. The printing does not indicate whether it's a neutral or a hot side wire. Okay, always pay attention to the rib, because the printing may sometimes be on the hot side, sometimes on the neutral. Your rib side will always be your neutral. Okay, so we find our wide slot, find the corresponding stab for it. You'll see this stab is on the right hand side here. So we're going to take this wire, we're going to make sure that the neutral side, that would be this one, gets stabbed by the neutral slot when we press this in. Now, here's the other thing, and this is something else people skip. Can you see right down in there, look on this end, look right down in the very bottom of that well, do you see that divider in there? That is very important. That divides this wire, keeps the conductors apart. Remember how I had you split this? That's why you split it. You put this down in the bottom of that well, there's a plastic divider in there, it keeps the two ends far apart and insulated so that you don't get an arc or a short circuit across the end. Most of the time you will find these plugs are put on just like this, which is wrong. They need to be put in to here, press down till it stops, and then push a little farther, and it'll drop just a hair bit more. Okay, if you're not sure that you got it, mark it with your fingernail, pull it out, and there you can see I'm at the depth that this would have split. Okay, if you pull it out and it's only this long, you know you didn't quite make it. You're at the top of that divider wall. You need to push on through it. Put it in, push it through, then fold this down tight. Now remember, we've got the neutral wire, this right hand stab here, which is on the wide slot. Fold this wire down flat and tight, give it a little push to hold it. Now your slider cap, you'll see there's a little stop on this end. See if you can see it here. See, there's a stop on the end. On the other end, there is not a stop. Okay. Also, if you look, there's a raised area right in the middle here. This is a ramp. So the tighter you slide this on, the tighter it makes the tighter it presses your cord into the plug. Okay. So we're going to turn this over, put the ramp side, we put the open side with the low end of the ramp right here. On this end, the cord end, just like this, and then just push it together. Okay. Most of these will just slide together with your fingers. You might need a pair of channel lock pliers or to leverage against a tabletop or something. Push it together, and it will stop because you have a stop right there. Okay. It'll make it very tight. This is suitable for outdoor use. Do not immerse it, of course. And this end is wired correctly now. So we do the same thing on the other end. It's the same process, but remember it's going to be opposite because your slots have to mate. And this is going to mate to your next cord down the line. So this one, your zip cord comes out this end. Your mating one, the zip cord is going to come out the other end, so you have to be able to chain your lights together, okay? Bottom it out. Flatten it down. Slider cap. Push it together. Okay? Now, real quick test to see if you got it right. You see if your plugs plug in this way and they fit, and there's a cord out each end. If for some reason they plug in this way, then you've got something backward. You need to start all over. Okay? So, thanks for watching. We want you to be safe out there. We want you to enjoy your LED lights. And thanks for shopping at ImaginaryColours.com.